Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's the direct purchase and pricing question line from you to me and my hand-picked crew for your purchase and pricing questions about this or any watch you see here on Watchbox Reviews. tmosso@thewatchbox.com. And today we are discussing a 2011 model year limited edition of 200 pieces in platinum, built to celebrate Jaeger-LeCoultre's Tourbillon triumph in the 2009 Concours de Chronometrie, held in Le, Switzerland. This is the Master Grande Tradition à Tourbillon. Master Grande Tradition being an ultra haute de gamme sub-branch of the Jaeger-LeCoultre Master Collection. It's finer, it's more exclusive, it's more exquisite, and generally it's also more complicated. Now the watch you see here, of course, 43 millimeters in platinum, but remarkably only 13.2 millimeters thick and 49.8 millimeters from lug to lug, making it very wearable on a small wrist for a truly grand complication. I'm going to throw it on my wrist real quick so you can have a look at it. And of course, being a 43, it's large, but it's also broad and flat. Now you can see on my wrist it has enough clearance on each side that I don't feel like it's in danger of overhanging. I can recommend this for a 15 centimeter circumference wrist or larger. It is very secure and comfortable. For a 43, I feel this is like a limpet on the wrist, sitting low enough to easily slide underneath a dress cuff. This is a true dress tourbillon. And that in spite of having a date, automatic winding, a GMT function, and of course that titular tourbillon. Now the timepiece is equipped with a factory strap, medium rectangular scale alligator leather semi-gloss. You can see there is a sheer edge showing the layers of construction with a monotone stitch. It is a brand new Jaeger-LeCoultre factory strap made in France by JLC's original equipment manufacturer Camille Fournet. Now the timepiece, of course, equipped with a double folding deployant clasp, and this is in white gold. JLC's rationale is that the clasp uses small enough swing arms that if they were made of platinum they would bend. Therefore, white gold, being the hardest of gold, is used to make the clasps for the platinum cases. You can also see that it features an upgrade over the previous clasp in that it does feature a curve to its underside, so under your wrist it traces the arc of your wrist, providing accidental droppage security while donning or removing at bedside. Now the case is handsome in a way the previous Master Tourbillon was not. The Master Tourbillon was rather brutal, using a case shape that was, in fact, not just shared as a shape, but actually shared as a set of tooling with sports watches. The Master Tourbillon uses a sports watch case rendered in stainless steel or precious metal. This is not a sports watch case. As you can see, it features a relatively narrow mid case with a case back that's sunken in with polish on the bottom, polish on the lip of the bezel, and then the satin finish in the middle to break up the visual mass of the case and create the impression of a thinner watch. You can also see that the hoods of the lugs are polished, and then there's a little transitional bevel on the edge of the lugs to pair their mass. The crown is simple JL signed with a circumferential knurling, and then the bezel is fairly elaborate. As you can see, there's this vertical section, then there's a conical section, then there's another vertical section that abuts the sapphire, giving a little bit of a hard-edged angularity to that high-polished platinum component. Now the dial is, as often is the case with Jaeger-LeCoultre, ruthenium coated. JLC often saves ruthenium coated dials for its platinum watches. When you see a blue dial on a JLC or a ruthenium dial, there's a good chance it could be a platinum watch. What you have here are a set of white gold, diamond polished, faceted dart style indices for the hours. You have faceted and half frosted Dauphine hands at center for the local hours and minutes, and then you have a small baton style indicator with a small blue flared wand, so you can see there's a little winglet set in blue for indicating the date, and you'll note that the date itself is printed in blue. Chronometry down at 6 o'clock, highlighting the fact that this caliber 978 is a champion, and that reminds you that it was able to keep extraordinary time in the Le test. Now let's quickly discuss one of the features of this watch that sets it apart from most tourbillon timepieces. It features a date jumper that jumps straight from the 15th to the 16th overnight, so that it never obscures the tourbillon. By the time you wake up, it is already migrated entirely. There's a little Maltese cross style winglet wheel underneath the dial that performs that trick. Now you also have a GMT function, as I can locate the local time independently of the 24-hour dial. So I can set a 24-hour time on the reference time dial, that is the place where I am not, and then I can set my local time separately, and the local time drives the date, by the way, forward or backwards as I travel across the international date line. Also take note, there is a difference in the guilloche on the 24-hour dial, as you have a billowing sort of rayon sunburst up top, and then a set of horizontal slats below for the nighttime hours. Let's roll back a little bit and talk about the movement. Caliber 978. How potentially accurate is this movement? Well, in the LeCoultre competition, its error averaged out to 47.5 seconds per year. The largest single day variation measured, that is 1 day, was 0.28 seconds, and the average daily variation during the 45-day test, 3 times the COSC test, the average daily variation as regulated by JLC was 0.13 seconds per day. That's extraordinary. That's almost impossible. And while the watch won't necessarily produce that all the time when it's been away from service for a couple of months or years, the fact that it can be adjusted to that level even momentarily for a month or more is extraordinary. Even the finest chronometry calibers in the world will have trouble matching that, and in fact this caliber beat JLC's own Gyro Tourbillon 2 in the same test. 33 joules with a 22 karat engraved winding mass, not 21, not 18 karat, 22 carats. It beats away at 28,800 vibrations per hour, and it features a 1-minute tourbillon. Now you note that the tourbillon bridge is continuously rounded and black polished. The tourbillon carriage itself, as you can see, is entirely hand finished, and the detailing is exquisite for the 1/4 gram titanium tourbillon carriage. The balance is free sprung and adjusted in 6 positions, so precision is outstanding, and because of the free-sprung architecture, it can better take bumps and concussions on the wrist without varying its timing than can a traditional tourbillon. This is one of the rare wristwatch tourbillon that actually fulfills the mission of a tourbillon: accuracy. 50 meters water-resistant automatic winding with a 48-hour power reserve. You can see on the case back it boasts of the Master 1000 hours control, a chronometry trial that is applied to the JLC watches as fully cased-up timepieces for 1000 hours, also testing winding efficiency, power reserve, and resistances such as water resistance. This watch is the full package, handsomely executed with Côte de Genève across the bridges on the reverse side and blued screws, fired kiln blued screws. Like I said, the real deal. And you can see how on the wrist, because the case back is set back, it's designed to look even thinner than it really is. It actually sits lower than 12 millimeters, making it almost seem ultra thin for the amount of complexity you're getting. One of the finest tourbillon timepieces ever made, and handsome in ways that few large complications can be. I'm looking at you, Cartier. This is a watch that puts it all together. Email tmosso at thewatchbox.com for the Master Grande Tradition, a tourbillon, 200 pieces from the 2011 model year.